Hi, welcome to All Things Possible. Welcome with Kris Barney. I'm excited to have you here with me. I have spent a lot of time developing and fine-tuning the 7 traits to change your life and your world. And today I get to share with you one of the traits, which is create courageous confidence. We talk a lot about different things that we can do and how we can do it. And today I'm excited to share with you the difference between cowardly confidence and courageous confidence. So much of the time we look at people and we see them come across as so confident. What I can tell you is it's a mindset. There's got to be a big shift that goes on because all of us have the same value and all of us are capable of having that courageous confidence. This is one of the traits that I teach all the time and that I want to share with you today. So let's jump in and get started. Before that though, if you'd like to get all 7 traits, I want you to go to my website, allthingspossible.biz, and get the 7 traits. So it's right here on the screen. Jump on, get the 7 traits, and see all of it. I have this done in an ebook, also in video form, as well as in CDs. So you're going to get more information on all the different aspects of how I have that. This is going to be a quick video just to give you a basis of where we are at. So go on, jump on, get some more if you'd like, but for today we're just going to jump in and get going. So when I talk about create courageous confidence, first we have to kind of dial in on exactly what that means. So much of the time we get stuck in our negative self-talk and in being very judgmental of ourselves. How many times have you heard that we're our own worst judge, right? And we are. We are more critical of ourselves than we are of all the other people around us. And that's got to change. And to change that, we need to take these steps. So, on our whiteboard right here, I want to share with you the 6 words that I have come up with that follow this. So I've used the word create to come up with our acronym for what this looks like. So the first thing we've got to do is conquer. To conquer, what I'm talking about is our self-talk, that thought pattern that we have. We've got to stop doubting ourselves. We need to believe in ourselves to be able to move to the next level. And to be confident, we have to conquer the battle that we have going on in our head. And the best thing to do that is to go to our heart and to learn to love ourselves. But to stop that self-talk is the first step. To stop that doubting ourselves, we've got to be able to trust ourselves. And that's going to be, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but the first step is to believe in you and stop that self-talk. So conquer is our very first one. Conquer is really important, and that's why it's first, right? We have got to conquer that battle that we're having. The second one is to reinforce. So right off the bat, we're going to conquer and then we're going to reinforce. And what does that mean? To reinforce courageous self-confidence, right? Courageous confidence. To reinforce that, you've got to come up with a way to put back in the positive. So raise your personal value. When I talk about raising my personal value, I do this through I am statements, I do it through declarations, I do it with visual, I have a vision board, I have an ideal life vision that I listen to. There are several things that you can do, but you've got to find a way to reinforce the confidence within and to back up the positive, right? Because if we're always listening to that subconscious mind and it's going crazy and we're allowing it to tell us the negative, we're reinforcing the negative the whole time. So if we can conquer it first and then reinforce the positive, right? So we're going to be doing I am statements, declarations. We're going to be putting back in that positive affirmations, whatever you want to use. But the positive that you continuously come from your heart space and you reinforce that you are valuable, that you are good. We are going to raise your value. The next one that we're going to do is evaluate. So you're probably going, okay, so we conquer and we reinforce. Why does evaluate come next? We constantly have to evaluate where we're at. So what I mean by that is to examine where you are. You know, we jump into a new goal or a new way of life, and we jump in all excited and we do really great. And then a few weeks down the road, we're not so great, right? And we're not doing as well as we wanted to. Well, that's where evaluate comes in. Because until you evaluate and you go, stop, what's stopping me, what's blocking me, what am I allowing to change that? Sometimes we allow other people to influence that. We can be spending time with the wrong people. Now, I'm not saying you have to always boot people out of your life, but sometimes you have to see it for what it is. Is there a negative person that you are continually with? How can you block that situation? Do you have a way to change that, to influence it, right? So you need to evaluate where you are, where you want to go, what needs to change, and how that looks. And the only way to do that is to evaluate. Examine where you are and see what needs to change. Because if you don't know what to change, then you stay stuck. So you might say, I'm shy and I don't do this. Okay, so evaluate it. Is getting out of your comfort zone the hard part? Is not allowing negative influence the hard part? You know, sometimes I hear, oh, my spouse is so negative. You know what? Some of that is blame. You might have a really negative spouse, but you need to evaluate how much of it is you, how much is them. You're in charge of you, and you are at choice. You've got to be the one to decide how that's going to be. So on to our next letter. Our next is to accept. When we accept where we are, we accept what's happened. So much of the time when I work with clients and myself, right, we have to accept what's happened. Now that can be a number of ways. There's forgiveness, there's letting go, there's write and burn. There's a lot of processes that you can do to accept where you are, but you have to allow yourself to start where you are, accept where you are. And when we can accept where we are, we can then move forward. So I want to ask you something that might give you some perspective here. Do you believe that all human beings have the same value? Now some of you are going, no. Some of you don't believe it. So I'll ask another question. If you were in a car accident on the freeway, would we call 911 and would they, no matter who you are, would they do everything in their power to save your life? The answer is yes. If you were taken to the emergency room and let's say you were having a heart attack, would they take all measures to save you? Yes. All human beings have the same value. It's when we perceive that someone else has higher value. So I really saw this for what it was when, as a speaker, I spent a lot of time with other speakers that I felt like were more valuable, right? They were paid a higher wage. They had people calling them. They weren't having to go look for the jobs, right? And so I perceived it as I wasn't as valuable, so I didn't have the confidence. Well, that's not the truth. Every human being has the same amount of value. It just can't happen. Either we do or we don't. And every baby that's born has the same value. Every human has the same value. When someone dies, it's a loss. Someone is grieving that loss. Okay? It's value. And we have to understand that we have to accept where we are, what we have to go for, and that we are valuable. We get to stop feeling like others have more value than we do. And to do that, to get into that accept mode, of how we can come up with that, we have to trust. Trust is huge. We have to trust yourself. So much of the time, we don't trust ourselves, and we second guess ourselves, and we want someone else's opinion. We want to have others voice that opinion and give us those opinions. Well, what I can tell you is you have to learn to trust you. The very first thing, the very best thing I can tell you to do to trust yourself is to raise your integrity. Now, I do a whole section on integrity, and I tell you a lot of things to do, a lot of things to change in integrity. Just like this, we have an acronym that we're going to be sharing with you. But to trust yourself, you need to raise the bar. You need to stop listening to what's going on. That subconscious mind needs new information. That's where we're going to reinforce, right? We're going to put more good in so that when we get down here to trust, that we have something to trust. If your mind hears the negative 10 times more than it hears the positive, what's it going to believe? Right? What I can tell you is that your own voice is the most believable voice. So when I say putting this stuff in, to trust yourself, putting the positive back in will help you accept it, it will help you evaluate it, and it will help give you criteria to actually move forward and to own courageous confidence. Sometimes confidence does really take courage to go and step into that unknown, right? When I first started this big shift in my business, I had never wanted to be a speaker. I sat on the back row. I had never wanted this, right? And so to step out and be on stage, that was like, wow, what am I doing? And that is how most people are. Public speaking is one of the most stressful things you can do. And yet, I chose this. But I had to really trust. I had to trust myself that I could do this and that I had value and that I had something to offer and to give, right? So the last one that we're going to talk about is expect. You have to expect the good to happen. If you expect to win that race, or you expect to get that raise, or you expect to have that significant other find you, or you expect to have that positive thing that you're looking for, when we expect it, we get it. When we expect greatness, when we expect success, that's when we achieve it. When we doubt it, that's when we fail. And know that if we fail, is that really failure, or is that learning a lesson to get past it so that then we can expect a different outcome the next time? Right? There's always opportunity to move forward. There's always opportunity to up-level. But until we get some of these basics into our mindset and our life, we stay stuck. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Let's just review. So when we create courageous confidence, so rather than cowardly confidence, we want courageous confidence. And to have courageous confidence, we're going to conquer, we're going to reinforce, we're going to evaluate, we're going to accept, we're going to trust, and we're going to expect success, right? When you can get those 6 things wrapped in your mind around confidence and being all that you can be, your life will change. Your world will change. I am glad that you're here with me. I'm trying to keep all these videos for the 7 traits to about 15 minutes to just give you the basic, really nuts and bolts of the meat of this. If you want more, again, go to allthingspossible.biz, or you can go to krisbarney.com and you can get this information. I've got it in CD form, I've got it in an ebook. I'm also coming out with my book. It's going to be out soon, and it will have tons of information, tons of action steps and things for you to do in it. I'm thrilled to have you here with me, and I want you to have courageous confidence. We're just going to review one more time. We're going to conquer that mindset that we've got. Okay, we're going to conquer that self-talk. We're going to reinforce the positive. We're going to reinforce our value. We're going to raise our character. We're going to raise our personal value. And to do that, we're going to raise our integrity. We're going to have I am statements, declarations. We're going to evaluate where we are. Who are we around? What's going on? We're going to accept the past. We can't change the past. We can change how we feel about the past. We're going to accept and let go. We're going to trust ourselves. We're going to trust that we have what it takes to do that. We have it. We're going to make it to the next level, and we're going to expect success. Expect greatness. Thanks for being here with me again. I'm Kris Barney, and I'm thrilled to have you with me in the All Things Possible community. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.